Hello and welcome. You are on Golden Ride this wonderful Wednesday morning. And yes, on Golden Ride we like live event occurrences as they have appeared. Today, we'll be talking to someone who we can actually say as a political giant, someone who has served Delta State and is still serving in various capacities. I'm talking about no one else but Right Honorable Victor Oche is right here with us this morning. Welcome to Golden Ride.
Thank you very much.
You're very
Thanks
much
for having
welcome.
me.
Okay, now on Golden Ride, we'd like to clarify. That's a very, very particular word, clarify. That's what we love to do. And there's been a very controversial statement going on around town. Okay. And that's why we're here with you this wonderful morning to talk about it very, very well. Now, knowing the situation of graduates saturating the country, we have many of them just coming out from the universities, looking for jobs, and there are no industries, as a matter of fact, to take many of them. Some of the industries are not even in order, matter of fact, to employ. Now, recently there was a particular quote that we've had on the particular media where you were said to have said something about if you have a particular number of workforce and you can't pay them, why keep them? You know, and that particular statement has caused a kind of controversy around town. And people are asking, what does Right Honorable Victor Ochei mean? What does he mean with this statement?
Okay, thank you very much for wanting that clarification. I didn't. It's not with a view to sacking them.
Yes.
The question then that was asked was, what do you do? What advice would you do to state governments that have bloated workforces? Oh. Now, my whole idea is as simple as this. Where we are today as states, as most state governments in the country, you have, before now, government business was merely social service, where you employ people based on social considerations, political considerations, and even employing people you don't need, but just bringing people on board, train them through the bureaucracy, put them in places, which is fine. But you see, at the time when business of governance funds of government becomes slimmer, it is time for government to begin to plan strategically towards ensuring that they take what they need for exact productivity. That's what I mean. I'm not saying you don't need to sack anybody. I was asking futuristically, what do they do? Now, there was with regards to Paris Club funds. Now, if there are no bailouts, my question is, will the state government sack everybody and say, government is closed, we can't pay anymore? No, they won't do that. Government will have to devise other means of ensuring that they take care of its workforce first. Because those are the people who give government the output that they get eventually.
Now, you are someone who has experience in government. What could be those steps to be taken to ensure that people get paid?
Now, you do what you call an audit. An audit is essentially, you may have more accountants in employ of government than you have more of economists or agriculturists. Now, there are areas where you even have shortages of manpower. You deploy. You do an audit. Okay, we need 10 accountants here, but we have 12. Can we make the other 2 function as economists? You now begin to look at areas where they can fit in and fit them in where you have maybe there's a shortage in the number of economists that you need. You now to begin to deploy and ensure that everybody has an input to make. Therefore, you're reshuffling what you have to be able to meet the needs of your own administration or your governance. I'll give you an example. If you run in the private sector and you have in your employee hands that can do technical jobs, they may not be exactly trained for what the kind of jobs they will eventually do. But because of the number of years they've stayed in employment and been doing that kind of business or overseeing or supervising it or understudying it, they become experts of some sort that they can handle those jobs that you need an expert to handle. Because of the long term of apprenticeship, they become good as well. So government also has a lot of it to do. There are areas where you don't overbloat a particular office, where you need to now reshuffle essentially to deploy them to other places where they can be of use to government and ensure that work is done and done perfectly well. All
right, clarified. Now let's go away from that area. Let's talk about restructuring. There are some recent clamors on restructuring. How, in your own perspective, can restructuring help, in the area of resource control?
Resource control.
Yes, resource control.
Restructuring means different things to different people.
First of all, let's start with what does restructuring mean to you?
To me as a person,
yes.
I let me reserve my comment on what restructuring means. But if you, I mean, without fear of favor, restructuring for me means first and foremost the reorientation of our mindset as a country. Because the country are not run by angels, they are run by human beings.
Yeah.
And first, we must have in our mindset, what do we think about? What does it mean to us?
Yeah.
Restructuring for me means moving away from our ethnic ties, moving away from our religious ties, moving away from ties that are what I call primordial ties. There are sentiments that we don't need, but we hold tenaciously to them, and we don't see ourselves moving forward. So for me, restructuring is breaking down those barriers that they have created so much problems for us, unknown to us. Because I'll tell you, I'm from Delta. I say, oh, you're an Yoruba man. Oh, no, you Yoruba people, you can't be doing this. You are cheating us. How can you have two Yorubas here? Everywhere is Yoruba. This is that. Ah, Anyoma man, because he's there, everywhere is Anyoma. You go to government house, you won't hear anything other than Anyoma. Or when you Yoruba is leaving, oh, you go where is everywhere, migo, what is it? Yeah. Those are the kind of primordial sentiments that we need to move away from. Because then it's not about where the person comes from. It's about, can the person deliver to Delta State or to the country or indeed to any other endeavor what is required and expected of them? That is the beginning of it all. So for me, restructuring means the beginning, which if you start from the very basics, it will address a whole lot many things. So first and foremost, the truth is the restructuring. If you tell yourself the truth and arrive at the truth, then restructuring starts.